Okay. This is the worst day of my life, guys. That's a dramatic thing to say, and in light of the situation, not funny. Um, it's obviously worse things have happened in life, but it's fine. It's going to be fine. I looked back, and it looks like we will be able to fix it after the fact and confirm all of the donations and stuff. We've already raised like well over $2,000. So that's really exciting. I am so sorry, guys, for what has happened. I, again, you guys are so kind. Thank you for all of the kind words. We have had so many issues with YouTube's live feature. This has never not happened, some version of this. I love YouTube, but get it together with these lives. Like, literally, how did I have no sound in the first one? And then the second one, it doesn't even, okay. I am going to be fine. Thank you again for donating, everyone. I know the thumbnail for this has become truly a bit of a harbinger of worse times. It is. The other one was something for alopecia, which, like, I'm not even like, I love to those guys. We'll probably throw them a few $100 for having gotten caught up in this mess. I am so sorry. But no, so this live stream, has truly turned into a manifestation of how everyone has been feeling the past couple of days. And you know what? It's all good. We'll throw a couple $100 toward the other charity for having been caught up. I really appreciate it. And I was gonna cry, but you guys are reeling me back in. You're making me feel okay again. I'm gonna keep this stream going a little bit longer than I intended to, because I just feel like we need to get it back going again. We set the other two private. Obviously, my team, my team, as if they all work for me. But if the TFD team, I'm sure they're distributing this link everywhere. But we set the other two fundraisers private so that no one accidentally, goes and donates. Someone's like, Will Smith is so happy right now. That is so funny. How sad. Please explain what's happening. Good question, Rosa. Basically, so what happened was I did a live stream on the original link that it was supposed to be. The sound just didn't work. It was working on my other programs, not working on YouTube Live, just because it didn't feel like working on it, I suppose. Then I closed that out. I had to panic recreate the event. It went to the wrong charity. The wrong charity populated, and I clicked on it. Ultimately, human error, right? Like, there's no way around it. That is my fault. But so they donated $1,000 to the wrong charity, which is like not fair to the people who donated. So I'm immediately getting on the phone with my partner manager at YouTube as soon as this is over to have a bit of a chat and also to make sure that the donations are redirected. And now we're on live stream number three, everyone. So it's all good. We're working out. Charity still charity. YouTube streaming service is held together with glue and toothpicks. It truly is. When I tell you, this happened recently. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. Every time we've gone live on YouTube, there's been some sort of serious issue happening behind the scenes. Thank you for a member who joined with us. But okay, should I just wait? Should I cancel my donation and try again? Honestly, see what happens if you do that, maybe. Okay, we have, I'm trying to read everyone's comments. Hello from Spain. I'm shocked and upset. Girl, so are we. Saida, my colleague, is saying, lol, where's Mona? I feel like a Mona hug will do us all some good. I was generally so confused why I got so many notifications. Hopefully that's really getting people to join. It's all good. Mona hug. I'm going to go say hi to Mona. And actually we can do a little apartment tour if you guys want. I feel like we could all use some lightness here. Seems like I joined at the right time. LOL. Sure did. Wait, Mona, hold on. Look at this little, oh, Didn't mean to interrupt your sleep, girl. Truly, none the wiser that there has been like a full on panic attack happening in the front room. But look at this. We've got three, we've got three live streams worth of money being raised. So if we don't hit $5,000 today, you're going to know that we're really cursed. Okay. Okay. So people were talking about a little apartment tour. We're going to walk around and do that. I live in New York City, so I live in Manhattan, no less. So, so it's 5:40. So it looks like we've raised about $2,600 so far in total. Someone on the staff, if you guys could like share the totals from the other two, to just kind of keep us going, that would be amazing. So everyone knows where we're at. But okay, so little apartment tour. So this is going to be awkward because I'm going to have to like hold up my laptop. I've never been a better day to be a person that shows up late. True that. Okay. So like, this is like when you walk into the apartment. I've never given an apartment tour. This is so awkward. I'm sorry, guys. So this is like, it was about, so 2,200 total. Thanks, Holly. This is my living room. I don't even know if you can see this, you guys. Yes, previous donations will be redirected. I'm going to be talking to YouTube about this, and if we'll figure it out. But yes, what neighborhood? I'd rather not say, just because I don't want to be too much giving up my privacy. I mean, I know if you dig, you can really find it, but essentially, uptown. I live north of the park, we'll say. Okay, so thank you, shutters. I didn't put those in. Actually, the people who lived here before me had taste. They have really nice light fixtures everywhere. Okay, thank you. Thanks everyone for these kind words. I'm happy to answer questions. I feel silly just kind of wandering around my apartment, but here we are. I love this. This is apparently originally, not revealing my location. But this thing is like, apparently it's original from the apartment, which was built in 1909, 1912, turn of the century. But anyway, apparently people used to put really fancy platters up there. So that's really cool. One day, it's certainly not anytime soon, but one day I would really love to have a collection of nice, beautiful serving platters that I got from around the world, be one of those older women's who has just like a lot of trinkets and treats from her time around the world. So that's that. I have a lot of plants. So right now we have this bookshelf, but I've conned my husband, who famously isn't working right now, he's going to be on this wall building a big built-in bookshelf. So that's going to be exciting. I've always wanted a built-in bookshelf, and we found a DIY that seems not that hard. Someone's saying, I thought you bought a home, but you are renting an apartment. Turns out it's the best of both worlds. I bought an apartment. So I own this bitch. Okay. The bro in the thumbnail is an old meme. Indeed. Not that old. Your shelf is so cute. Thank you. What made you want to work in the finance space? Love the Hannah collab. I'd love to collab more with her. She was an absolute treat. I don't really work in the finance space. I work in the media space, and that's where I worked before. Okay. So then we're going into the kitchen. So there's a bunch of changes happening here. So basically we're waiting to get some renovations done in the apartment, but in New York City, it's really expensive right now. Like everything's like 30% more than it usually is. So we're not doing that right now. But so my husband put in this flooring. I love it. It's my favorite. We're going to get new countertops, backsplash. Got my meat from the farmer's market defrosting on the counter. How exciting is that? And then this is going to be knocked out. We're going to have a breakfast bar in here, kind of open up the space. Hello, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we're having a little house tour. We're keeping the vibes light and airy today because your girl managed to mess up this fundraiser. We're at 1K in this one, which brings us to like 3,200 total. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Here's my little dining room. Also, can we laugh at my computer stand? Not sending my best when it comes to the computer stand. We got a little wine cabinet. We got a bar cart, really set up for entertaining, I like to think. How's your Spanish coming along? Are you fluent? I would say I'm pretty fluent. I can understand most things. I can say most things that I want to say. My Spanish teacher actually just got married this weekend, so very happy for her. She was in Mexico City. Thank you for organizing, standing in solidarity from New Zealand. Thanks. Love to see it. What the frick time is it over there? Is it like, was it 2 in the morning there? Man, good on you for joining this live. I can't say I would be doing the same thing. First time homeowners never skip the inspection, always get a sewer scope. Definitely never skip the inspection. I love the table. Where'd you get it? Jonathan Adler, and it was the floor model. So we got it for 60% off. It's mahogany. And then you don't really see it, unfortunately. Like I like love this so much. I'm just going to show you guys. There's these like brass bearings underneath it. It's really cool. I love this table. I love Jonathan Adler. I know a lot of people think he's like a little too over the top, but I really like a lot of his stuff. Anyway, so that's the like, living area space. It's 6 a.m. in New Zealand. This is totally worth it. Well, good morning, girl. This is my little guest room. Woo! I like wanted it to be like a little, like a little, I don't know, like a little hotel somewhere. I love Holly's mom loves Jonathan Adler, and I love Holly's mom. Okay, thank you guys. We're getting so many donations in. We really do love to see that. How often do you meet with your Spanish tutor to keep practicing Spanish? I really do. I 3 to 4 times a week, but 2 of those are like actual classes and 2 of them are like just phone calls where we're just chatting. Yeah. So, you know me, I love a wallpaper. I really love this orange bedspread. It's like a rust color. It looks a little more orange in the thing. We got a little mini gallery wall going. Love a gallery wall, as some of you might know. Whee! And actually, wow, you guys you came here at a good time. You're about to see the artist at work here. I got these 2 prints. I've been looking for prints for this part of my hallway for quite some time. And I wanted to find some while we were away in Charleston. And I did. I got these 2 prints from this local artist that I really love. This is like a very impressionist painting of a building down there. And this is just like a impressionist sky. And so you guys will see that I have them just taped up where I want them in the hallway. And then I taped around how big I want the frame to be. I think I picked out the frames. I like these bamboo, like these gold bamboo frames that I found online. And then there's a place by our place where I get them matted, but I tape out absolutely everything I do ever. Thank you guys. They're saying such nice things. Thank you guys for all these donations. This is truly amazing. You're in my bathroom. How fun is that? Yeah, we don't need to get too into the nitty gritty. It's a bathroom. If you've been in a bathroom, you've seen a bathroom, but similarly, I like to, make it feel a little bit like boutique hotel-y. I really enjoy that. Also, this whole bathroom's getting ripped out eventually because we're going to do a stall shower. I'm not a bath person. I just never liked one. I always feel like, hi guys. Hello. I always feel like when I take a bath, I feel like I'm just like soaking in skin soup. I don't know why. I should like a bath. Is that forest green? It is. Yes. Well, it's Benjamin Moore Hunter Green is the name of the color. Thank you for becoming a member. I love a cheeky bathroom sign. It's actually a fun fact about this. Talk about TFD. Okay. So this says, being imperfect, pot-bellied, sad, or angry, in this too, there is a certain chic. And it's funny because that is actually, so we used to do at TFD this thing called Total Honesty Tuesdays, where people would share Instagram posts like showing kind of the behind the scenes of their real life and, being revealing and this, that, and the other. And it got picked up in the media and it got translated or picked up a lot by Russian media because the hashtag kind of went viral there. And so I got interviewed for like Russian TV stations and there were news articles. And so this news article, that was a embroidery that my friend had made because it was a news article about Total Honesty Tuesday that she like put through Google Translate, and it said, being imperfect, pot-bellied, sad, or angry. In this too, there is a certain chic. And I think that's true. I think there is a certain chic. Okay. And then I know on MTV Cribs, they're always like, I guess they're either like, this is where the magic happens, or like, I don't allow people in here, but I don't really care. We're raising money for a good cause today. So this is my bedroom with a sleeping dog in it. I got some wallpaper. Um, you know, Similarly, keeping the boutique hotel feel. I love a wallpaper moment, as we've seen. But yeah, so anyway, that is the apartment. If you guys have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer about like where I got anything or like what I do for anything. But I don't know how I would necessarily describe my style, but I think it's fun. It's good. My home is so cool. Thank you. I very much love an eclectic aesthetic. My goal is to one day just be one of those really funky, cool older women that has all kinds of interesting knickknacks and like lots of really bold prints and wears like really awesome caftans and muumuus everywhere. Like I want to be like Patricia Altschul, basically from Southern Charm. If we have any Bravo/Southern Charm fans. Okay, so I'm going to go look at the questions now that I'm back. But do you have an in-unit laundry, though? No, I don't. No, I don't. And I never will. Oh, I also didn't show these cabinets, but they're like my favorite thing, these built-in cabinets. Love them. Okay, so no, I don't. But I live in Manhattan, okay? You can't have it all, right? There's just no way. No one in this building has in-unit laundry. And trust me, there are some fancy-ass apartments in this building. That's just a sacrifice I'm willing to make. There are a lot of other things, whenever you're buying a home, and that's a good piece of home shopping advice, is that like there's going to be things that you absolutely must have. There's going to be things that are nice to have. There's going to be things that you can let go of. And that was one for us. So know what those are for you. And there were a lot of other things about this place that made it like definitely worth it for us. Okay. How's the throw pillow situation? It's good. I actually have I was this close to buying a really fancy throw pillow cover in Charleston that I absolutely loved, but I was like, I just am not at the place in my life where I'm going to be spending $185 on a fancy throw pillow cover. But trust me that it was really, really nice. Okay. I love your outfit. Thank you. Where did I get my shirt? It is Tommy Hilfiger, which means I got it from Macy's almost certainly. But I get a lot of stuff from Macy's. They have amazing sales here in New York, at least at the big flagship. You guys are raising so much money. Can someone from TFD give us a total with the others? Because I would absolutely love to know what the total is across the three. Do you know how to hang a tapestry? I got one recently, but I don't know how to hang it up. I sure don't, but that sounds like a question that Google might know the answer to. Unrelated, but I just want to say a huge thank you for TFC. I found this podcast. I just found the podcast and I love it. I've been binging. It's so helpful. Amen to Granny Chic. Okay. Grand Millennial. I just found out that's the name of the design style. We have lots of trinkets and fun colors/patterns. Wait, I want to Google this. Grand Millennial. Is that a real style? I guess it is. I guess that's my style. Well, you know what? I'm happy to be part of a crowd. 3,800 raised, and we'll like get like the design squad on this to like get a whole image together with the amount that we've raised total or what have you, because it is just not cool to not be able to see it all at once. How do you reconcile going from being poor to being a high earner? Being really transparent and thoughtful about money. I don't know. I've done a lot of content on it, but it's a struggle for a lot of people. Living in New York, you will meet a lot of people who live a very different life than their parents do. And my husband, grew up, normal middle class, and he, earns more than his family. And ascending class is supposedly the American dream, but it's very stressful. And it's definitely not. Yeah, it's a stressful thing, and it's not something that I think there are a lot of easy answers to. And I also think that it's something that is much more in many ways an emotional question / psychological therapy question than it is just purely money. Okay, what is your nail polish? Wicked by Essie, one of the all-time classics. That and Lincoln Park After Dark are two dark purple queens. I wish I was that flexible to be like, I pull on my shirt. Command strips are where it's at. Hell yes, they are. That's definitely a key tool for being able to test things out. So stressful, and I have a bit of survivor's guilt. I totally understand. We are at apparently $3,800 total in this fundraiser. So let's go get us over that 5K. That would be amazing. Donate what you can. No pressure if you can. I'm just happy to be able to hang out. What are your thoughts on Biden's address to the nation on Friday? I don't fucking care what that man has to say. I'm sorry, that was rude, but I am so done with, can I just rant about politics for 2 seconds? I am so done with Democrats at the national level. There's a couple of them that I'm a fan of and that I feel like, well, fan is a bad word to use for a politician, but there are a couple of them that I can really get down with. And feel like they're doing a good job and are pointing people in the right direction. And like, for example, say what you will about AOC, but at least she's like actually talking about solutions and being proactive and being specific and trying to hold people accountable. Like every time like a Nancy Pelosi or a Joe Biden or a Kamala Harris is on my TV, it's like, they're just like basically sending thoughts and prayers at this point. And it's like, why? And they're like, the answer is to give us $10 and then elect us again. And it's like, elect you again to do what exactly? Because you're here and you're doing nothing. Like there are a lot of things that they could be doing. And I feel like we're just going to get Joe Biden coming up to a podium to give us more T's and P's. And, just kind of leave us out to dry basically. And I really do feel like I feel personally a lot more inspired and a lot more hopeful when I look at things like the Amazon unionizing than I do when I look at like a Joe Biden coming to give a speech. I really do. I've had it up to here with Democrats. And that's why we're donating to a direct abortion fund, because it is at the end of the day up to people to provide each other with mutual aid at this point and to give our resources directly, because I don't want to become nihilistic. I don't want to be cynical. I'm a fairly optimistic person. I'm doing phone banking this year. I'm involved in the process as I like to be, but like at a certain point, it is just not, I don't know. I'm sorry, that was a rant, but I just cannot get down with someone on Twitter the other day. Cause like when Kamala tweeted that picture of her on Air Force 2 watching the news and just being like, this is bad. They were like, I feel like she just came out she was like in that park and she was like, we did it, Joe. And then nothing, like literally nothing. What has she done? What is she doing at this point? Like we thought for so long, like, oh, a woman in the White House, that will really mean something. Things will be different. Things will, change. Really? Because this happened with a woman in the White House. And I just feel like I'm so done with them, all of them. The Democratic governor in my state is the only thing standing between us and the very conservative. That's why I said at the beginning, I'm so done with national Democrats, like the National Democratic Party, and especially the super centrist, conservative Democrats. Like we forget that like Joe Biden has not been a very pro-choice politician. Like even amongst the Democrats, our pickings are fairly slim. So, what my motto is now? Primary the shit out of these Democrats, like primary Nancy Pelosi, primary Chuck Schumer, primary. I don't even know how Dianne Feinstein is still in office. Like she's literally senile. I don't know if you guys read that article. There's been a couple articles about this, but like she's no longer even functional. I don't know. Why is everyone in Congress like 80 years old? I'm so mad. I am so mad. Okay. AOC pointed out that we didn't have a pro-choice House majority until 2018. There you go. I've been so infuriated getting emails and texts telling me to vote blue like I did. And it didn't stop this. Yeah, like I vote blue every time. And look where we are. Also, Meg saying, I wish Obama had codified abortion rights when he was in office. I agree with you, Meg. You know what else I wish Obama had done? Fucking anything. I wish now that's a little extreme. He did do some things, but like, why did none of the bankers go to jail? Why did we completely gut Obamacare so that it was like, do people not realize that the version of the ACA that got through was created in large part by the Heritage Foundation? Like it was a conservative brainchild. Like they gutted that absolutely to the max. And granted, like there were other people standing in the way of that who were really against it. Like you had like a Joe Lieberman who was like super, super conservative on healthcare policy, but like Obama had the numbers. Like he had the ability to do so much more than he did. And I feel like personally, I look back at like I was running through the streets of DC screaming and waving a flag and like dancing in the streets the night that Obama got elected because I was 19, but I was like, this is something new. This is a change. This is, and like even the like anti-war stuff, like I thought I was voting for a completely different person, but I really feel like very hoodwinked by that entire experience in terms of what I thought I was signing up for, what it felt like was happening at the time. And really, when you look back, like what were the true policy achievements? Even the policy achievements that were made during that time were pretty watered down and pretty easy to completely undermine, as we're seeing now. And also, okay, I just have to say, as a last note, if I see one woman after this, or man, or anyone, if I see one person wearing that Ruth Bader Ginsburg t-shirt with the Biggie crown to the side, leaving aside, how was that ever okay with how like completely just like appropriative and weird, and like she was not even a particularly progressive figure on like racial issues and stuff like that. So like leave aside the Biggie aspect of it, which I think is like really weird and has been fucked up from the beginning. But the fact that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is still able to be some kind of a Yas Queen icon is mind-boggling to me. Like there were articles at that time being like, it is sexist to say that Ruth Bader Ginsburg should step down. Like she should stay on the Supreme Court as long as she wants to. And it's like, what are we talking about? Like, this isn't like some freaking like PTA committee. This isn't like it's not even like a nonprofit on the Upper East Side with like a really old decrepit board. Like we're talking about one of the most powerful people in the entire country who is old as shit. Like, why are we not allowed to say that people have to retire at a certain point and ensure that they'll be able to be replaced by someone who is ideologically aligned with the majority or with their party? Like it's, I can't even tell you guys how angry the notorious RBG stuff like makes me. It is just so, it's also just so cringe. Like, do you know what the notorious RGB shirts remind me of? Is they remind me of like, have you guys ever seen like, it was like a really popular thing for a while for like a very specific brand of woman to wear like spiritual gangster, or like, it'll be like yoga brunch and gangster rap or whatever. And like, they would wear these like tank tops that said that. That was like a very specific moment. And RGB, like the notorious RGB stuff like that, to me is like the version of that went to grad school. It's like the exact same energy, but you're channeling it into a slightly more highbrow thing. Okay, so we got a lot. Democrats aren't perfect, but isn't the real issue the actual structure of our political system? Yeah, I mean, I'm right with you, but like, why are Democrats not chipping away at that? Like, really, we're not even trying to get like Puerto Rico in here. We're not trying to get some more equitable representation based on population. Like, what do Democrats do on a national level? Truly, like, it is unbelievable. Jesus is my homeboy t-shirts. Not to mention, someone is saying, not to mention, why are SCOTUS justices still on for life? Your guess is as good as mine, Suli. I have no idea. But I mean, someone said it right when they were like, we truly live in a gerontocracy. Our entire lives are being run by these old ass fossils who have zero, like, why are people voting on climate change who are literally going to be dead in 5 years? What do they care? They might as well all just be chartering their own private planes. Like, at this point, who cares? Okay. Having control of the Supreme Court has been the GOP's goal for the last 40 to 50 years, ever since the Southern strategy. Well said. So one thing that I think a lot of people have been really blind to, and myself included, like only recently in the past like 2 years did I really read in depth about this, but the extent to which the GOP's strategy has been the judiciary at every level and just filling the judiciary with these extreme ideologues who are completely party loyal is like, it's actually crazy how effective it's been. Like, you have these Catholic coalitions and you have these evangelical groups, and you have, really, really effective hard right political action committees who are, I mean, just relentless in getting placements in the judiciary at all levels. And it's like, the GOP isn't stupid, guys. Like, they know that they don't have the numbers. Like, look at what happened with Roe v. Wade. Like 70% of Americans across party lines opposed that. 70%. So to me, the idea that we're all going to just be sitting here twiddling our thumbs and just hoping that election after election, the numbers are going to matter. Well, yes, in certain elections for now, they matter. But if you have a party that understands that it does not represent the will of the majority and hasn't for some time and is demographically irrelevant, they're going to find other methods to stay in power. And as we saw with the Gush versus Boer, true, the Bush v. Gore election in Florida, like having the right people on the right court seats, the right court benches will win you elections. Like they're not stupid, and the oversight for something like Supreme Court is pretty minimal, actually, in terms of the balances there are. So I really do think people need to be a little bit more scared of what it means to have a political party that knows that it is not representing the will of the people and is not holding the majority line and is actively finding ways to circumvent that. You guys, how close are we? Can we get someone from TFD updating on how close we are to the 5K mark? For those who don't know, this has been a bit of a drama. This is our third live stream. It's a whole mess. Okay. Oh my God, Soraya. Oh my gosh, my colleague Soraya just donated $50. Okay. Let's hope you keep going to 50,000. I love this. Okay. I also have an issue with a lot of the liberals in power right now, not pushing an issue or fighting too much because they need a platform to stand on and win votes, 100%. Because the Supreme Court was supposed to rise above political pressure and not worry about getting votes. Lol. Not gonna lie, this has honestly sucked that all of this came out around my birthday. I would make fun of you, but honestly, I'd probably feel the same way if this happened around my birthday. Okay. Okay. 4,500. We're at 4,500, you guys, but we're going to keep it going a little bit. We're going to get this number up on this one because I want this number to be good too, since this is the last one that's going to be showing up. I can't effing believe all that's happened with these technical difficulties. I'm so frustrated about this. But anyway, okay. So any tips on how to get back to on my feet after, sorry, I just, dropped. Oh, any tips on how to get back on my feet after a financially abusive relationship? 15 years of my life wasted waiting for a ring that would have locked me into a terrible life. Well, first of all, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is absolutely terrible. But it sounds like from what you're saying that you dodged an even worse future. So I suppose that's the silver lining in that. I mean, ultimately, the financial and emotional questions are somewhat separate. I think it's important to separate the two, but I would definitely seek out counseling. There are great support groups for financial abuse. There are also therapists that specialize in it. I would see what's available to you in that respect. I would also, there are a lot of pro bono financial counselors, and I would look into them in your individual city that will work with people who've been in difficult situations to help them get back on their feet financially and so forth. But I would, and also just be kind to yourself, congratulate yourself for getting out and for having missed out on something much, much worse. The GOP played a long game. We'll play a longer one. I hope so, Meg. I mean, I'm ready. Life's a marathon, not a sprint. And I really hope that we're running the longer game. But I do think that there's just no other way to say it. A lot of these people have to die off. Like so many people have to die off. And it's horrible because there are some older people who are great, right? Like I'm not trying to generalize and be ageist and say that everyone over a certain age is a bad person or has the wrong viewpoints, or that's not the truth. But there is a class of politician in this country who is old as dirt and running. I mean, our president is way too old. He shouldn't be president. I love Bernie Sanders. You guys know how much I love Bernie Sanders, but he is too old. Like, we need new blood. We really do, because when you look at the wealth distribution of boomers all the way down to Gen Z, there is like the wealth, the power, the everything is being hoarded at the tippy top by a very small population who is increasingly quite old. And old doesn't mean bad, old doesn't mean stupid, but old does mean completely decoupled from the long-term consequences of your decisions. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to things like climate change, it is really freaking scary to have people making commitments and making decisions and building policy on climate change when they are literally not going to be around for the consequences. It is really, really scary. Some of these guys have to die. I'm sorry. And that's not a threat. Obviously, Mother Nature will take care of that in her own time. Okay. I was raised Roman Catholic and went to Catholic school for 13 years. And let me tell you, the majority of teachers were pro-choice and half the student body had at least one abortion. There you go. That's Catholic school for you. But I will say, the thing about Catholic school that's so crazy, and I come from a very Catholic area, Catholic family, Catholic background, Catholic in a Catholic ether, let's say. And the thing about the Catholic Church in a lot of these areas is that they have the institutional power, they have the money, they have the resources, they have the infrastructure. For a lot of people, the Catholic schools are the only good schools in that area, or for teachers, maybe they're the only ones that pay decently. So many people, like the Catholic Church in particular, it's a business. It is a business, and especially in certain communities, there are very few true believers left. It's mostly institutional and financial power. So that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. The Catholic schools all around us were crazy when it came to that kind of stuff. Okay. TBH, we don't have an age minimum for TBH, we have an age minimum for the presidency. I don't see what's wrong with the idea of an age maximum. Absolutely, Tessa. Absolutely, I agree with you. Old means they grew up in a completely different climate and can't relate to our current situation. Exactly. We do so much content at TFD on the boomers who, it's no disrespect to boomers, but they grew up in a completely different economy with a completely different set of fiscal policies, a different tax code, different public funding for services. School was a lot cheaper. Housing was much more heavily subsidized. The minimum wage was much closer pegged to inflation. They lived in a different world, and they still think that other people live in their world. And I mean, those memes about okay, grandma, let's get you to bed. They're mean, right? And they're not always true, but damn, when it comes to understanding economic policy, it's let's get these guys to bed. Okay. We are at $5,500. This is amazing. I'm going to probably, what I'll do is post a big community post, doing all the totals and recapping what happened. We've been through a lot together. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes. Let's see. Now we're just, racking up the score here, but I'd love to raise a little bit of money for this, a little bit more. Just as a reminder, this is being raised for national abortion funds. It's just helping people get direct access. The most important thing we can do now is just help people individually who need it. We are not doing ourselves any favors by just continuing to give Nancy Pelosi $6 every time something bad happens. Aside from the fact that she's not going to do shit about it, Nancy Pelosi's got enough money. How about she funds her own stuff now? We don't need to be giving her that. The Catholic Church is the oldest corporation. My aunt. Your aunt is right, Sophia. That is very, very accurate. 5,000. Woo! Wait, Alexander Lester. Yes, let's hear it for Alexander Lester. Sounds like a man, no less. We love to see it. That's solidarity. Let's go for 10K. We'll see how close we can get to it. Now that I'm no longer having an active panic attack, I feel like I'm, okay to hang out. Okay. So Soraya says, can you speak a bit to the importance of participating in the primaries as a voter for first-time voters? That's a really good question. Yeah, so I actually think at this point, the primaries, depending on where you live, are even more important than general elections. Here in New York, we're going blue basically every time, no matter what. What is important is making sure that the right people are on the top of that blue ballot. And, as we saw with someone like AOC, it is possible to get some of these crusty motherfuckers out of their positions of power. So yeah, I 100,000% think that primaries are super important. And, if you ever have any questions about getting registered and all that stuff, it is not hard. Just Google how to vote blank wherever you live. Like, there are so many organizations that are just set up to help people get registered to vote, get out the vote. I do a lot of phone banking, and trust me, like, so many people don't even know who's on the ballot for a primary. And there is something so essential about just keeping in mind that we don't have to take for granted who's going to be the options every time. Like, we get to choose who are our options each time. So definitely voting in primaries is super duper important. Have a sangria. Maybe later, girl. Who? Okay. I like to make people uncomfortable regarding facts that nobody likes to learn. Nice. Cori Bush is another person like AOC who beat the odds. Love Cori Bush. She is a great one. I mean, you got to give it up to Ilhan Omar, and not for nothing, but that woman, the amount of harassment and abuse, like I'm so scared for Ilhan Omar and her family every day. Like, she's such a brave woman and so on point with so many of her ideas. That whole group gives me a lot of hope, honestly. Illinois primary today. Please make sure your voice is heard and vote. When I was in 8th grade, my CCD Catholic Sunday school took us on a field trip to a church at the state capitol. Then they had us participate in an anti-abortion protest 100% unknowingly. That's terrible, but that sounds fully on brand for a Catholic school. Like, oh my God. The stories I could tell about the Catholic schools in my hometown, I'm not going to get into it, but like, suffice to say, like, the most corrupt institutions, so much way not okay stuff happening there. Bad, bad, bad. But listen, I mean, this is not to get down on religion. Be whatever religion you want to be, support whatever, go to any church you want to, believe in whatever ideology you want to believe in. But I thought I lived in America. I thought the whole point was that you don't get to impose your religion on me. Isn't that kind of the whole idea here? This has been so good to join 3 times. Yeah, I'm sorry, Meg. I'm sorry, everyone. This has been, as you guys know, an absolutely devastating day. You know what I want to do? I want to get this one to 5K, because that will make me feel like satisfied with this one. And then the other 2 are just kind of a bonus. But Meg is saying that she lives overseas and it's really nice to connect to the USA and freak out with everyone. I lived abroad for several years myself, and I know exactly how that feels, feeling disconnected and wanting to be connected. So I really agree with that. Voting in your local judges can have a huge impact on your community too, 100%. My husband, like, once a day is like, it is so crazy that you guys have like elections for your judges. That is just bananas. And I agree with him. Also, if you guys will allow me 1 second to pimp this, like, someone just joined as a member. Thank you. The best and most important way you can support TFD is to join us as a member. We've got all kinds of amazing bonus content. There's actually more stuff coming. We're changing around our schedule on YouTube to give more to the members. So 4K, so I definitely want to make that, plea to you guys, if you have it in your heart, to become a member at TFD. It is so important to us. It really helps what we do here, and you get all kinds of amazing bonus stuff. So feel free to join. Okay. We have got so many donations happening. We've still got so many people joined. Okay. Who is MDJ? You guys are talking about Mama Dr. Jones. This is a new person for me. Tell me about her. Thank you for giving to abortion funds and not the other do nothing big repro orgs. My pleasure. Henlo from Greece. Love you. Also, we'll be copying, guys. Let's hope we don't on this one, but I doubt it. Tell me about Mama Dr. Jones. I'm hearing so much about her. Colorado primaries today. Thank you to another member. 2 more. You guys are helping us more than you possibly know. We got some amazing bonus content coming up soon. Have you seen the movie Spotlight? Awesome. Here's a fun anecdote about Spotlight. I do love that movie. I think it's really excellent. I don't want to get too into that, but suffice to say, what am I going to say about this? Um, the thing about Spotlight as a movie, aside from the atrocious Boston accents, which some of the people were bringing to it, is such an important story. And I do feel like, I don't want to sound rude, but a lot of movies and TV shows that center around journalists, I find to be unbearable because I feel like they're so self-important and they're so annoying. And it's way too much about the journalists and not enough about their story. But like Inventing Anna is a perfect example of that. Like I couldn't even get through it because I was like, I don't care about, give me more of the scammer. But Spotlight, I think, is one of the few movies that really just hit that balance perfectly. And I felt so invested in it. Weird thing though, that is like one of my husband's favorite movies. He just loves it and he's watched it like several times. And I'm like, that and like The Big Short are two of his comfort movies. And I'm like, literally the most upsetting, anxiety inducing, horrifying movies. But you know what? It takes all kinds. It takes all kinds. Some of my comfort movies and shows are probably, I mean, listen, my comfort TV show is The Real Housewives, which is a bunch of middle-aged women screaming at each other. So what are you going to do? More members. Oh, members. I love this so much. You guys have been truly so awesome. I really love to have you guys here, and you have no idea how much it means to us to become members. By the way, love your shirt. Thanks. It's from Macy's. Okay. Christine, oh my God, some of our own staffers are donating. You guys, this is so heartwarming. Religion can be beautiful, but most of the time the powers that be use it for true evil. Unfortunately, I think historically that probably bears out. As someone with Chelsea's upbringing, poor as a kid, upper class area, but poor as a teen, I lived in Fairfax, VA. I know Fairfax very well. I feel like it is my duty to pay it back. And yes, cis gay man. A cis gay man from Fairfax, Virginia coming through. I truly love to see that. You are a class traitor from Fairfax. Okay. I like Spotlight, but it wasn't amazing. I don't know. Okay. Let me go back up to all these. Okay. You need to come. Okay. So Mama Dr. Jones is apparently an OBGYN, so intelligent, can explain complicated issues in such a clear way, huge on education and welfare of people with a uterus. Love Mama Dr. Jones. NPR did a great history on abortion and how it was very widespread until the 1950s when a politician wanted to present the US as moral. Someone fact check me on this, but I am 90% sure that Ronald Reagan was on the board of Planned Parenthood before he ran for president. Can someone fact check me on that? Because I have done a lot of deep diving into how like we have regressed so much on things like religious rights, or religious sort of influence in politics. And I think that that's true. Mama Dr. Jones is the best. Okay, I've got it, you guys. She is an OBGYN, very active on YouTube, very pro-choice. Love it. I would love to get her on. We got someone donating $100. Thank you so much. And we got more members coming in. More members. This is the best day of my life. You guys, I am like, you have no idea how stressful this live was getting it working, but now it's working and we're raising so much money and we're getting members. I'm truly gonna cry. Oh, this is so sweet hanging out with you guys. I like Spotlight, but it wasn't amazing. I'm gonna tell my husband you said that. Okay, I know this will never happen, but as an influential religion, and churches in particular should have been, there's no reason why they shouldn't be taxed. I agree with you, girl. Tax them all, especially those evangelical mega churches. We have a new podcast coming out called Too Good to Be True. It's all about financial scams. And the first episode is a two-parter all about evangelicalism and finance. And the first half is more about the history, the mega churches, the televangelists, the Joel Osteens of the world, all of that. Second part is much more focused on and his empire. But we go into all of that and you truly walk away being like, how are these people not taxed? This is crazy. Elena, thank you guys so much for becoming members. Elena says, I totally understand Spotlight being a comfort movie and Contagion was too until 2020. Contagion is such a deranged comfort movie. That's like I Am Legend being a comfort movie. It's so stressful. Your husband sounds very interesting. He really is. And he's so funny too, because he loves watching, although he has other comfort movies like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of his big comfort movies, which I understand. I love that. Thank you guys for your donations. But he loves The Big Short. He's probably seen it 30 times. And it's, obviously a movie about the financial crisis and the bad actors that led up to it and this, that, and the other. But he watches it so much and he gets angry completely newly every time, as if it's the first time he's seeing it. And it is just hilarious because I personally, like, I know this story like the back of my heart. I can't imagine wanting to watch it more than once, maybe twice for the humor. But like every time he like stops it and he finishes it and he turns it to me and he's like, this is, how could they get away with this? And I'm like, welcome to America. Ask Obama. How did they get away with it? That's a great question. You know, what's funny though? He is the only person on, not the only person. I was going to say he's the only person who has a comfort movie, will watch it all the time at home. And then when he's on a plane, will be like, oh, there's this movie, I can watch it again. I'm going to have to call Lauren out. I don't know if Lauren, my co-founder and coworker, is still working here, is still on the live stream. She still works here, obviously, but I don't know if she's on the live stream, but she's similarly with her comfort movies, so extra. We were on a work trip once and she watched Harry Potter. I think it was Harry Potter it was one of the new Star Wars, I think, on, like, she watched it in the hotel at least once, maybe more than once. And I think it was on her computer. And then we got onto the plane and she was like, ooh, they have that Star Wars movie that I was just watching, and like watched it again. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, I have my comfort movies, but some of you guys like have such an appetite for the movies that you love. But I mean, it's a charming quality. Some of my favorite people are like that with their movies. Also, I want to say as a quick note, speaking of Lauren, so Lauren and I have an upcoming workshop that we're doing about building a business. And we are going to be, I'm recording an episode of the Financial Confessions with her tomorrow. So we'll be putting up a call to action to send in all of your questions about building a business, entrepreneurship, getting started, either solo or as a larger business, to answer those questions when we're recording the podcast tomorrow. So I'll put that up on Instagram. Send in your questions if you have them, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, freelancing, so on and so forth. Thank you so much to these people who have joined as members. We are so close to being on 5K on this one. I'm so excited. Okay. Can you give your take on the fear that access to birth control is the next thing that we're likely to lose? I don't know of many Republican lawmakers being anti-birth control, but I'm seeing a lot of talk about that. I mean, my opinion on all of this now is that anything is possible, right? Like nothing is a given. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. We have to keep fighting. We have to just assume that they'll stop at nothing. Finding out alternative methods to buy birth control if you live in a super conservative state, I think is not a bad idea at this point. Okay. So I'm looking through all these, so many donations, so many huge donations. We freaking love to see it. One of my comfort movies is Train Spotting. That is hilarious. Actually, one of my favorite comfort movies is Bleak as well. So I can't even hate on people. Congrats, Financial Diet Channel. Get MDJ on the podcast. Nixon side family legislation in 1970. Yep, he was. Okay, so a lot of people confirming Ronald Reagan was indeed on the board of Planned Parenthood before he ran for president. You know what we like to say around here, which is fuck Ronald Reagan. Okay, prior to that, many Republicans believe life started at birth. They still do, but only when it applies to their mistresses. Okay, from the Planned Parenthood website, 1980, Ronald Reagan elected as the first U.S. president to strongly and openly oppose abortion. Down with Dave. Oh, that series sounds amazing. Can't wait. Yes, it is. Love you to the members that have joined. If you're thinking about becoming a member with all of our amazing bonus content, which we have coming soon, don't forget to do that. If you can afford to do that as well as donating, just check it out. Check out David Ferrier's Webworm posts on mega churches. Will do. My comfort movie is Moana. See, that's very sweet. Close tax loopholes for corporations. On a little positive note, we need more members. We live in Germany and finally decriminalized and allowed abortion, education / advertisement, etc. That's amazing. Oh my God, the dog scene in I Am Legend is horrible. One of the worst scenes of all time. Almost walked out of the theater, but I was in the center aisle. That is horrible. Oh my gosh. Okay. A John Oliver segment about churches. I've seen that. It's really good. Am I the only one who generally doesn't like watching movies more than once? Yes. If I even really like a movie, I'll probably watch it more than once. Only movies that I'm like meh on, I don't watch more than once. I love The Big Short, so I can see that. Your husband gets angry every time he watches The Big Short because absolutely nothing has changed. Well said, Deborah. Well said. Nothing has changed. In fact, in many ways, things are worse. Into the Spider-Verse is very comforting. Yes, it is. I will never stop laughing about that scene in Into the Spider-Verse where they're running out of the lab with the computer and he's like, you don't need to take the monitor. Like you could just take the computer because that would be me. I would be in there taking the whole heavy thing. Clue is my comfort movie. No, we're about to lose all of our new members at the top. We need more members, which, you know, if I were you, I would become a member anyway. We've got amazing bonus content and we're coming out with a bunch of new, really exciting members only stuff in the coming months. Clue is my favorite comfort movie. That's a great one. Jennifer's Body, Royal Tenenbaums, Virgin Suicides. Yeah, a lot of sister relationships happening. Virgin Suicides is an interesting choice. West Wing is my comfort show, but my husband can't stand it because it's too positive about politics. I have to agree with your husband on that. It really does feel like watching a total liberal fantasy. Like it can be infuriating at times. I'd love a collab with the channel How to HD for a deeper dive on finances for ADHD brains. Reach out to her. We have been trying to get her the new members. Bless you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We have been trying to get How to ADHD on the channel for some time. She hasn't answered us. And that's okay. Maybe, she's dealing with ADHD. So, I understand. But nevertheless, I would love to interview her. So please help. You can tag her, tell her, come on TFD. Lauren says, Star Wars baby. There you go. That was too funny. I'll never forget that. But you know what? People have their comfort movies and they deserve to have them. Hi, new members. Showgirls is a major comfort movie for me. That is a great choice. Honestly, Showgirls is comforting because it has that energy of I don't know if you guys growing up in the 90s ever your moms watched soap operas and stuff. My mom would always watch EastEnders and stuff like that on TV and other 90s soap opera stuff. And that Showgirls to me has a similar energy, similar visuals, audio, etc. And it always makes me think of that. So it is comforting to me too. Philomena, we're getting recommendations for. We are at 5K, you guys. Despite my incompetence. Oh, I'm going to cry, you guys. This is so exciting. I can't believe we did it. This is so important. And you guys really bared with me through so much nightmarish stuff with this live. I am going to be now. I never ever Karen anyone, but I will be speaking to the manager of YouTube, let's say, because this has been a recurring issue and you guys don't deserve it, but we reached the goal and we are manifesting. We are matching all donations. We have to tally up the exact total of how much we did with the others, but I think it's probably gonna be somewhere around $8,000 total, of which we'll be matching 5. So that's about 13,000 raised today. So that is just incredibly exciting. We'll be posting about that later today as we tally everything up. But this is, no, I'm getting all emotional. I really don't want to cry. I am not a public crier. It makes me really uncomfortable. So I'm going to reel it in, but I could not be more happy with you guys and all the people who joined as members. That means so much to us. It helps us out more than you could possibly understand. Well, you can probably understand it, but more than you know. And we, like I said, have tons of amazing bonus content. We'll be doing more amazing bonus content, even more than the members are currently getting. We have some really exciting stuff planned for the summer. You guys have been such a pleasure to hang out with. I could not be more excited to have reached our goal. And this will be posted, on the YouTube channel. You guys can go back and watch. Today was a roller coaster. Melissa, I agree with you. Thank you guys for doing this, but we raised $13,000. We'll throw a couple bucks to that alopecia organization. Oh, that is too funny. That is too freaking funny. I can't even tell you. But yeah, we'll be doing another one soon. And, we'll maybe have to do a different cause next time. Depends on what those fuckers go after next. Am I right? Who knows what it's going to be the next time, but we'll be sure to do more really awesome lives. And like I said, and yes, you do have access to all previous videos if you join now. So join. People are telling me to have a drink, maybe later. I'm sipping on that ice cold water. Very much raw dogging reality, as they like to say. a little too aware of what's been going on. Also, I've had quite a bit of coffee. So, okay, well, thank you guys. I'm going to end this live stream, but I will see you soon. Thank you again. We've raised way more than we thought we would. This has been a huge pleasure. Next fundraiser will be for alopecia. No. Okay. This will be posted to the live. You can watch it back. You can still donate. You can join as a member. And like I said, any members who join now get access to all of the archival content as well. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It has been an honest to God joy. So thank you guys so much. I will see you very soon. Bye.